The room presents itself without any immediate demand for interpretation.
The lighting appears sufficient for clear observation.
The space offers no apparent focal distraction.
Orientation can influence how space is registered. Brightness transitions often go unnoticed. Shadows quietly indicate the position of light. Surfaces respond differently to illumination. Clarity can vary within a stable view. Materials quietly reflect their environment. Symmetry is often assumed rather than measured. Color perception shifts subtly with light. Depth cues emerge without effort. Even light distribution is rarely exact. Attention often settles on what is illuminated. Reflections suggest spatial continuity. Perception adjusts without announcement. Light direction defines spatial reading. Boundaries are often clarified by light. Small changes accumulate quietly. Surfaces respond predictably to light. Spatial balance is often inferred. Contrast guides visual separation. Grounding is visually reinforced. Diffusion softens perception. Visual stability often precedes deeper noticing. The direction of the light appears subtly inconsistent with the window's position. Shadows occasionally duplicate without clear cause. Reflective behavior does not always follow proximity. Geometry sometimes appears negotiable. Brightness does not always cluster near its source. Illumination sometimes favors unexpected surfaces. Light distribution can invert quietly. Depth cues occasionally disagree with form. Surfaces can imply alternate lighting paths. Visual centering can feel unreliable. Some shadows lack clear origin.
Uniform objects do not always receive uniform light.
Gradients can imply unintended depth. The contact points feel irregular. Proximity does not always enhance clarity. Proportion can subtly drift. Light emphasis can migrate without motion. Edges do not always align with their causes. Surfaces can behave as if pre-lit. Shadow density can reverse expectation. Reflections can suggest unseen structures. Distance does not guarantee softness. Separation can occur without movement. Coherence can fracture without drawing attention. Light responses can feel slightly out of sequence. Duration is often estimated visually. The perception of time is inherently subjective. Temporal flow can feel reversible. Simultaneity is often assumed. Neuroika, the inclinationting. Cause and effect are visually reconstructed. Perception can imply motion where none is measured. Sharpness and timing do not always align. The floor reflection appears to precede the brightness on the wall. That sequence, however, can invert quietly. Object boundaries are temporally negotiated.
Spatial movement can be perceived without motion.
Time can be visually layered. Perception stitches moments together. Fractally detached in timing, rather space. Presence can feel temporally offset. Persistence is not always physical. This room demonstrates that objects can occupy slightly different times. The walls darken, but the chair remains brightly lit. Anticipation can be perceived visually.
Nearness can be temporal rather than spatial.
Objects do not always share the same moment. The chair's highlight appears fractionally postponed relative to the surrounding light. That sequence is reconstructed by the observer. Time can fragment across surfaces. Coherence requires continuous correction. Perception trails events. The present is assembled from offsets. We light, shadow, reflection no longer on a single moment. Temporal unity is assumption, rather assumption a guarantee. The room appears to have arrived at a stable configuration. Visual balance can feel restored without explanation. Evenness often signals completion.
Predictability can feel reassuring.
Clarity often returns quietly. Spatial logic appears intact. Form recognition resumes automatically. The wall closest to the window appears gently brighter, while the gradients align with expectation. Grounding feels reestablished. Coherence no longer requires effort. Symmetry often signals resolution. The room offers no resistance to interpretation. Wall brightness and floor reflection agreeing on direction, agreement feels conclusive. Correspondence is restored. Time feels implicit rather than examined. Familiarity can resemble closure. Visual processes appear complete. The absence of contradiction feels deliberate. Understanding often marks an endpoint. Cooperado without deviation. Cooperation reduces attention. Explanation feels unnecessary. Time feels neutral. The chair and the walls exist without hierarchy. Attention has nowhere specific to settle, resting evenly across the composition. The visual information presented here, the walls, the floor, the chair, feels sufficient. The room offers itself as complete.